welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to continue on with the App Builder mini course, which is super exciting. We're going to talk about Junction Objects, which is on your exam and is in the Data Modeling and Management section, which is weighted at 20%. So Junction Objects are super cool. I'm going to go actually to our schema builder, which is something you'll also want to know about. So we're kind of hitting two birds with one stone right now. I'm just going to clear everything. So we're starting off with a clean slate. So junction objects are used to create a many-to-many relationship between two different objects. And there are multiple use cases to where you'd want to use this versus a lookup relationship where every record needs to be assigned to each other and that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and start off by creating our objects. So our use case here is that we're going to have two objects, three objects technically. The first one is going to be a projects. This is going to be more of a project management type deal, drawing the other object. And this one's going to be employees. Let's just change it to singular. Employees. Save. All right, so we have two objects right now. We have the project object and the employee object. There can be multiple projects. Or there are multiple projects and employees that can be assigned out to employees, and there are multiple employees that can be assigned to multiple projects. So there's a many relationship here. And also for good data keeping, we're just going to create another object called task. Actually, let's create a project task because there's already an object called task. Which that's a whole nother thing. It's a little confusing. All right, let's go ahead and save. All right, so each project has multiple tasks and each employee has multiple tasks. So let's say for project A, you have task 1, 2, and 3. But for employee Jim, he can do tasks 1 and 2, but employee, let's say Bob, needs to do task number 3 that's related to the project. So it's an easy way to keep track of who's doing what, but these all need to be connected. So let's go ahead and drag this over the master detail. And so when you're doing a master detail or a lookup, you're going to want to put it on the quote-unquote child record. The best way to remember this is that you're going to roll up, or you're going to, like if you're creating a roll up summary field, you're going to roll up to the master, or if you're creating a lookup field, you're going to look up to the master. So you're going to want to start with the child. That's how I remember it. All right, I'm going to say master detail MD to project. And it's going to be related to the project objects. Let's find project. There we go. And other things that you can do, you can make this a read only. You can make it so then child record's going to be displayed. You can add help text. That's super important to remember that you can add help text here. And let's click save. But remember, you cannot add it to a page layout here. So let's see. So now you see it has a master detail relationship, and a super easy to way to look at this, and I didn't know what this actually meant for the longest time, was that this is the detail page when you see those three little prongs going into the child object. That's indicative of a master detail relationship, and it tells you who's the master and who's the detail. All right, let's move on to the second one. So again, another master detail, putting it on the child record. We're going to call this MD master detail 2 employee. All right, description, help text, we're not going to add. We're going to relate it to employee. One thing to note is when we aren't able to see the project, so there can only be one master detail between the two objects, but there can be a total of 2 master detail relationships per object. So after we create this, there can be no more master detail relationships on the project test any other object to relate it. You'd have to convert those to a lookup relationship or use one of these to a lookup relationship, and then add the other master detail or use the one that you're trying to create to a lookup one. All right, so there we go. That's it. While we're here, let's actually talk about rollup summary fields. So let's see. We can add a rollup summary field on the employee. So it's going to roll up the number of tasks. I want it to be number of tasks for employee. So it'll say how many tasks are assigned to this employee. I'm not gonna need help there. Yeah, and we're just gonna count the number of records. So also important here to know is count sum, min, and max. Yeah, and then min and max are used for only date time fields. So if you have a date time field that you're trying to use as a rollup summary field, you can only use min or max. You can't use count or sum. So yeah. You can also filter this out by creating a filter, rollup summary filter field. It can't be edited in the schema builder, but you can do it on the page, on the object, in the object manager. But we're not going to create any filter, so let's just click save. There we go, and likewise, we can create another rollup summary field on the project and say number of tasks for project. And it would just be the same exact thing. Where you go project tasks, count the number of records, and all records should be included for that project. There we go. All right, so that is a quick overview of Junction Objects and MasterDetail Relationships and rollup summary fields. So it's a lot to go through. But I hope you found this really helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe for more. And let me know down below what you'd like to see next on my channel. It super helps me out. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.